Hi, it's Ernie from Ernest Aquatics, the Fish Keepers channel, helping you enjoy the hobby. Today, we're going to be talking about how to care for an axolotl. So the first thing we're going to talk about is tank size. They're pretty big creatures and they move around a lot. However, they don't do a whole lot of swimming, so what I'd recommend for one axolotl would be a 20-gallon lawn. This gives them a lot of room to walk along the bottom and still gives them a little bit of height to swim. When I originally got my axolotl, we had it in a 10-gallon tank. We had him in there for less than a day because we felt so cruel leaving him in there. It just was not enough room. Now maybe if you had a baby axolotl, it could live in a 10-gallon for a bit, but you definitely are going to want to upgrade to the 20-gallon lawn. Next thing I'd like to talk about is filters. Now there's a lot of different opinions on if you should put a filter on your axolotl tank. And a big reason is because axolotls, they don't like a whole lot of flow in the tank. So that's why people recommend maybe not putting a filter in, just because it does create flow in the water. However, I do have a filter on my tank. It's a 30-gallon aqua clear, and I have it set to low. And it really doesn't disturb the water too much, keeps the water quality good. So for me personally, I recommend having a filter on the tank, but just not one that has a lot of power. Another thing I want to talk about is heaters. Definitely do not put a heater on your axolotl tank. Now the reason for this is because axolotls, they do like cold water. Some people even put chillers in their tank that will cool the water. Now I live in Canada, so I'm pretty lucky, but if you lived in like Florida or any of those you know, closer to the equator, warm countries, I would definitely recommend putting a cooler or chiller or something in the water to keep it cool. But as long as your water is pretty chilly, they don't tend to mind. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is feeding. What do you feed your axolotls? It's very important. Axolotls, they'll eat a lot of different types of things. Kaida here, she really enjoys a good worm. Nothing can really replace that for them, I find. I find they just get so excited and it's really what they enjoy. But you can also feed them bloodworms. Kaida really likes bloodworms. Shrimp, frozen shrimp, she'll eat that as well. We did buy these little pellets for axolotls. She doesn't eat them. She just throws them around the tank and it just makes a mess. But maybe your axolotl will eat them. They're designed for axolotls, so you could give that a go. But if I could recommend one food for your axolotl, it would definitely be the worm. Next on the list is Tink Mates. What can you put with your axolotl? Axolotls are pretty friendly with each other. You could put 2 axolotls together or 3. I have seen cases where axolotls will eat each other's limbs. It sounds really gross. They will grow the limbs back. So there can be a little bit of aggression there. But if you had a big enough tank, I don't see it being a problem. If I threw another axolotl in this 20-gallon lawn, I think they might fight, just because it's not a lot of room. If I put them in my 65-gallon tank, I think I'd have better luck. As for fish, don't put no fish with your axolotl. Your axolotl will try to eat it. I have seen videos online of like little minnows and stuff with their axolotls, but I can guarantee you those minnows, or whatever they're putting in with the fish, is not going to live long. And you have to find a fish that likes cold water as well. So it's just best to not put anything with your axolotl if it's not an axolotl. Next on the list is very important. It is tank setup. What can you put in your tank for an axolotl? Now, axolotls are pretty clumsy, so I wouldn't put anything sharp, and I wouldn't put any gravel pieces, anything that could fit in their mouth. Mine is like a fine sand, so if it does eat the sand, it will digest it fine. But if you had like bigger pebbles and it ate the pebbles and it got stuck in its system, and you're just going to cause a bunch of trouble, and your axolotl could die. Sand is the best for gravel, or no gravel at all, but you don't want your axolotl sliding around on the bottom of the tank either. We put a moss ball in our tank. Kaida likes to knock it around, so you know, if you want a toy for your axolotl, moss ball is great. I haven't put any plants in this tank. I don't know how she'd do with plants. I think she would just destroy them, wouldn't you, Kaida? Next thing I'd like to talk about is behavior. Kaida really gets excited when I come to the tank. As you can see in this video, she's always swimming around wherever I am. She gets really excited to see people. She wasn't always like that. The first few months she hid a lot, so that was pretty normal, but now that she's comfortable with us, she always follows me around the tank, and she's really cool to watch. And when you turn the tank light on, she'll swim around and just get really excited, so they're really rewarding that way. There she goes. Yeah, they're really fun. So I hope you liked this video. If you'd like to see more videos of my axolotl Kaida, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I have a whole playlist dedicated just to axolotl videos, so make sure you go on my channel and check that out. And if you'd like to get your name at the end of this video, make sure you check out my Patreon page. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep doing those water changes.